presented by Capital One. A hot and steamy day in Oklahoma City, and we've got two to play, with the winners moving on to the national semifinals. We open up with UCLA and Tennessee. Win or go home. For the Bruins and Lady Vols, it's time to deliver.
Survival is the instinct they'll rely on today for a chance to capture the title.
Chasing all my doubts right out the door.
We want to play one more day, and we're really going to use this momentum.
How about that from Boo Gibson, back to back?
They'll need to reach farther, believe harder, while united as a team.
We all want to win. We're going to do whatever it takes.
Time to deliver.
The dream is within reach.
We have that dream, but you really got to compete one inning at a time.
The desire is deep.
This team just shows it's not done until the last out.
Well by Clements, it's gone!
Rise and survive to reach the semifinals at the Women's College World Series.
Survival Sunday for UCLA and Tennessee, the winningest program in history. The Bruins looking for a 15th trip to the semis, and for Tennessee, a second semifinal appearance in the last 3 seasons. How'd we get here? Well, we already have a couple of teams that have advanced, Texas being one of them. They finally broke through and beat Oklahoma here in Oklahoma City. Brilliant performance from Tegan Cavan. And then Texas Tech, first time in this College World Series, and they are 1 win away from playing for the national championship with Nyjeri Kennedy. It will be a different road to the finals if the Sooners can get back. The 4-time defending champs will have to fight their way out of the losers bracket. Florida and Ole Miss have been sent home. 2 more will leave today as we roll into our semifinals tomorrow with Texas and Texas Tech awaiting. Hi everyone and welcome. They lost to Oklahoma Thursday and then beat Florida on Friday night. Winner is into the national semifinals. Loser goes home. Woo! Underway in our first elimination game of the day. Oklahoma and Oregon coming up tonight at 7 Eastern. And slicing that the opposite way for a base hit is the transfer from Cal Poly, and an early base runner for the Bruins.
Continuing to swing a hot bat, by the way. Jessica Clements leads this team. We talked about Woolery, we talked about Megan Grant with all the pop. Clements has been the batting average in the NCAA tournament, close to 500.
This is big for UCLA for the top of their lineup. Their best 3 hitters are right here, Pola, Woolery, and Grant. They have not reached a whole lot yet. They have not had an opportunity to drive in runs a whole lot yet. Woolery hit a home run off of Sage Margetko, who came on in relief for Tennessee when these two teams met way back in February. That was the game winner for the Bruins. Savvy Pola takes a ball, 1-1. The senior out of Santa Ana, California. This is the experienced part of their lineup. They roll with a lot of freshmen and sophomores. Pola tries to lay down the bunt, 1-2. Savvy's got a hit in 6 of her last 7 games. One of the most improved hitters in the country. Working with Lisa Fernandez. And a swing and a miss and a strikeout for Pickens, 1 down.
Well, that's the changeup that Pickens has been using effectively. About 30% of the time her pitches here in Oklahoma City, that pitch dropping down to 65 miles an hour. I know that that was a point of emphasis with Karen Weekly, and the pitching staff is making sure that Pickens gets that changeup a little bit lower in velocity.
So here's the matchup of All-Americans with Woolery stepping in against Pickens. Junior out of Walnut Creek, California. 23 homers, 86 runs batted in. And she had the swing in the Super Regionals that saved UCLA's season. On the brink of elimination, she brought them back in Game 2, and then they won Game 3, both of those on the road. Right through the wickets of Pickens, and then bobbled behind the bag, and everybody will be safe, as Dodge couldn't pick it up clean. A couple of singles for UCLA here in the first.
Ball well struck back up the middle, right through the legs of Pickens. It goes off the glove, the bag, and had a little bit of a pop up, and Dodge, who was playing and got there in time, just can't handle it as it ricochets off.
She almost got 2 nutmegs on that. And an early UCLA threat. Megan Grant. Her first RISP opportunity of the World Series. And she swung like it. 0-1.
You're not going to see a whole lot of swing and miss, too, for Megan Grant. Only 9 strikeouts on the season. Only 2 in all of Big Ten play. She'll take some hacks early on, but...
Pops it up, out on the grass. And Laura Mueller couldn't come up with it. And they'll get the force out at third base. And they call the infield fly with the shortstop Mueller. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was lost in the sun, but you could see the way that she was traveling backward. We saw this at Super Regionals, a little bit of miscommunication between Mueller going out, outfield coming in, but that's off the glove. I think that maybe just a little bit of a hard time with the brightness in the sun. You can see her squinting.
I think she lost it right at the end.
Yeah. Good job of picking that up. And now...
So if the infield fly is in effect, then the base runner at second base could have just stayed there. You advance at your own risk. And she was out at third, but was she tagged out, or did the third baseman just touch third base?
Touch third base, and then they...
She went into the dugout, so that's why
on the first play we had an infield fly. On the second out, third out, the runner at third base abandoned her base.
So it wasn't a forced play. No. They could have tagged her, but because she left and went back into the dugout. So this ends up being a double play on what was a miscue for Tennessee. Laura Mueller loses this ball in the sun, and what should have been advantage UCLA. It drops out, infield fly rule in effect. But because Jessica Clemens went to third base, thought she was out. Now watch her come off the field back in the dugout. That's actually why she's out, because they never tagged her.
Free passes, just 33 walks in her 143 plus innings.
And she will face Gabby Leach to open things up. Gabby and her sister Alana both in the starting lineup again today for Tennessee out of the Woodlands, Texas. So far at the World Series, Gabby with a hit and a run scored in both of their games. Check a couple of boxes for your leadoff hitter.
Ball inside.
Just to clarify, too, that last double play with the infield fly rule, we talked with our rules analyst, Christy Cornwell, during the break. It doesn't matter where the ball is as long as that position player is an infielder. The shortstop, Laura Mueller, even though she was on the grass, the infield fly rule is still in play.
Well, there's a lot to discuss on that. Not just Clemens clearly didn't see the call, you know, being able to understand if that's called, but also Lisa Fernandez at third base also did not see the call because she would not have let her vacate third base.
Right. We've seen some interesting plays here at the World Series this year.
Especially for UCLA, it feels like. I mean, all across the board, but stolen home last night.
Stealing home.
That was mind-blowing.
And for the fellow stat geeks like myself, you have to score that a 6U and a 5U, not a double play. And a strikeout for Terry as she sits Leach down, 1 away.
Caitlin Terry, the lefty, just has great ability to spin the ball through the zone. A good curveball that she'll throw on both sides. A changeup she'll drop down to the high 50s, and then that rise ball at the top of the zone. You can see that really good rotation that she gets. She's hoppy at the top. That last pitch, though, was a backdoor curveball to strike out Leach. And the interesting fact is that Tennessee hits just 256 against left-handed pitching. They're at 320 against righties, but do struggle a little bit against lefties. I think KT, as they call her, is a great matchup.
Well, it's interesting, too, right? Tennessee saw lefties in SEC play the last 2 series of the regular season, and then another lefty at the SEC tournament.
Robin Heron from Arkansas late in the season.
Here's Taylor Pannell. Big turnaround for her late in the season. After a fantastic regular season, that one squirts away from Terry on an 85-degree day that feels closer to 90 with 50% humidity. It is a steamy one.
And you can see she's going to come down into her release zone, and it goes off of her knee. I've done that before. That does not feel good. So she throws it off her plant leg, her knee.
Opposite way for Pannell, and she continues to swing it well. Her 5th hit now at the World Series.
She had 3 hits against Oklahoma, 1 again yesterday. Got on base twice, actually. But this is Taylor Pannell when she's at her best. But this is a hitter that's led the team in almost every offensive category, but went through a real lull. Beautiful job. Look at the simplicity. Drops the barrel down and just pokes it through to right field.
She was 2 for 17 coming into the World Series, and now 5 for 8. Just simplified the process. Gonna hunt a pitch. Find one I like. Here's the 0-1, and that'll head the other way and drop in fair for Ella Dodge. So UCLA with a couple of hits early, and Tennessee follows suit.
Both opposite field hits. And this is, just talking to Tennessee, talking to Craig Snyder, who's their hitting coach. They have a plan early. Clearly right now, it's hunt something. Split the play at a half. Middle away, that's what you hunt, and they're doing it early in the count. Right here for Ella Dodge is the 2nd pitch of the at-bat.
And both of them hitting from behind. 2-strike hit for Pannell.
Sophia Nugent doesn't wait for a 2nd pitch, lifts that out to the track, and almost a collision. It's held onto by the right fielder, Liesl Osteen. And some shaky communication early, but she's able to hold on to it, colliding with Clemens.
Well, they're both calling for it, and this is one of the things because of the crowds here. Now, more times than not, it's always going to be center field that takes over, except for when there's a runner at 2nd base. That's when Liesl Osteen has a better throw advantage. So she's trying to call off her center fielder, Jessica Clemens, because that way she can be in a position to possibly throw out the runner. But either way, neither one listening, both yelling.
Right field has been a position with some movement for UCLA this year, because that is often where Terry will play when she's not pitching.
Right.
So Osteen getting just her 16th start out there in right.
You see Clemens practicing yelling louder. She's going, I need to, and you do, especially as a player position of leadership. That's center field. You got to be loud.
And how about Nugent taking that changeup the opposite way, really staying back? Both of the hits opposite way. So it looks like Tennessee really letting that ball travel off of KT, knowing that she's going to mix a lot of speeds and work those corners.
All right, so the runners were able to tag in advance. So 2 in scoring position for the home run hitter yesterday, and UCLA's not going to give her a chance. Boo Gibson, the intentional walk to load the bases, and they'll get a force out anywhere with Laura Mueller coming up. They'd much rather deal with the senior transfer from Middle Tennessee. Although Laura is 4 for 6 here at the World Series.
Has a better batting average, better numbers. Now, Blue Gibson had some good at-bats yesterday and has more power.
Karen Weekly trying to find that elusive championship ring. Only Oklahoma State has been here more times without a title. Now in her 24th year in Knoxville. Mueller swing and a miss on the first offering. Laura does have a grand slam this year. That was a big swing against Miami of Ohio a couple of weekends ago in the NCAA regionals.
Ball outside.
Mueller delivers. One run is in. Here comes another to the plate. And Laura Mueller protects Boo Gibson after the intentional walk and drives in a pair.
I'll tell you what, when Tennessee's offense has a plan coming into the game, and this hasn't really been their story consistently through the regular season, it has definitely been their story in the postseason. Their plan clearly is to be able to stay inside the ball, drive the ball middle opposite field. All hits that we've seen have done just that. And this is a great job on a pitch up and in. And how about the batter getting pitched around you to get to you, and you get the clutch hit.
They have now scored 11 runs in the first inning of their 3 games here at the World Series.
Look at that, incredible. 25 hits in those first 3 innings, 20 runs.
Put up a 7 spot the other day against Florida in the first inning.
Now, remember, this is a lineup that Karen Weekly basically shuffled around at Super Regionals.
Alana Leach drives Riley Slimp back, and that'll end the inning. But the Lady Vols grab the early lead in softball. And the awareness to know the situation there, and it ends the inning.
And the whole point of the rule is to avoid actually what just happened.
Yes.
A double play.
Yeah. So infielders don't purposely drop the ball to be able to get 2 outs.
Well, and I think the reality of it, the umpires, the second out was the vacation of, or vacating the field.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it was intentional on Tennessee's part.
All right, so here's Lefty Ramirez. 5, 6, and 7. UCLA facing the deficit after Tennessee dropped 2 on them in the bottom of the first. Got to win it to stay in it on this Survival Sunday at the Women's College World Series. You get the dub today, you are into the national semifinals. And the winner of this one will meet Texas tomorrow, having to win twice. The Longhorns just need to win once to get into the championship series. And a full count to Ramirez, the sophomore out of Whittier, California. Just returned from an ACL injury in March, so this is her 37th game, and just returned as the everyday catcher in the postseason. And Lefty gets a hold of one, and she sends it out. Ramirez draws one back for UCLA.
Lefty Ramirez, second home run here at the World Series. Don't forget she hit one opening day against Oregon. You guys, just her 6th home run of the season. This isn't what she's known for. She's known for her skills behind the plate, what she does for this pitching staff. Instead, she takes now a full count pitch, and look at where this pitch is located. Get up and get some. Are you kidding me? This is up out of the zone. She meets this. So impressed with what she's done here at the World Series, you guys. A rise ball that comes high velocity against Pickens, and she hits it out of here. Her 6th on the year.
On a 3-2 pitch. All the runs, by the way, now for UCLA at the World Series, courtesy of home runs. And now on the year, they're up to 98. Second most in school history. Led by a pair of 20 home run hitters in Woolery and Grant. And here's Riley Slim, one of the 6 underclassmen and newcomers in the starting lineup.
I can't get over Lefty Ramirez and just her story, tearing her ACL, Beth, as you mentioned last year, spending the entire season sitting next to Kellyanne Perez and just picking her brain.
A former catcher herself.
Yeah, former catcher for the Bruins.
And that's why they let her call games.
Yes.
You know, it's a big part of it.
And honestly, that's why, that is the reason she starts every day. And I'm not knocking her offense, but she is a force behind the plate. And the bats come alive in the postseason. 10 RBIs. That's second on the team.
Yeah, and somewhat non-traditional. She catches and throws left-handed, right? But bats right-handed.
That's right-handed. And Pickens gets strikeout number 2, 1 down.
Pickens comes back with this 67-mile-an-hour pitch. This is basically what she calls her off speed, so that she gets the hitters are sitting 74, 75, that 67-mile-an-hour pitch over the top. It's still elevated a little bit. Pickens has been working hard. She's fallen behind at times.
Effectively wild.
That's right.
Well, the home runs have been up in the postseason. Well, as you would imagine, there's some tough competition.
That's not an easy pitch, though, that got hit out. I mean, a rise ball that's up above the zone.
In for a strike to Kanaya Bragg. She's got a home run here at the World Series. Hit one off an Ivory Kennedy yesterday.
Well, and remember, UCLA, as you just mentioned, saw Kennedy yesterday.
And Lindsey Grine before that. This is their 3rd All-American ace in a row.
And they saw Pickens earlier in the year, over 4 innings pitched, only 1 strikeout in that game back in February.
Pickens has her here, 1 and 2. This is a tough lineup.
A lot of heat in those last names.
All-American pitchers. I mean, best of the best. That's the World Series, though.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Got to beat the best to be the best. Yeah, called strike 3. 2 down.
Pitching Pickens up. Look, home run delivery.
Oh, there we go.
Number 2 here in Oklahoma City.
The Ramirez family. They're stockpiling them.
I mean, you got a shirt made and everything.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Here's Sophia Mojica, the designated player, freshman from San Diego. Granite Hills High School, where she set a new California high school home run record. And is she going to show us why? Continuing to do it in college, the 2nd of the inning for UCLA. And they come right back and tie it up. And they are peppering Pickens.
Now it's the freshman, too, and this is the bottom of the order for this UCLA Bruins team. And look at that, 72 miles an hour off the bat. And you're going to see that with Pickens. If you can meet it, especially up in the zone. This is 70 miles an hour. Again, top of the zone, not quite as high as what we saw with Ramirez. But if you can meet 70 at the top, it's going to leave the yard, 72 miles an hour. And this is a huge punch from the freshman Mojica.
First postseason dinger for her.
Those are rise balls that have about 6 inches of vertical lift. That's not enough, 6 to 7 inches. They've got to figure out a way to either put those in a different spot, change the velo on it, a better setup pitch. And first time she's given up 2 home runs in an inning this year.
Of course, this is on the heels of a walk-off home run earlier in the World Series in the loss to Oklahoma on opening day. Ramirez getting her defense ready to get back out there. Make sure they're all on the same page. Or just look down at Devon Park here in Oklahoma City. Home of the World Series and also the 2028 LA Olympics. They're going to play softball here. Mueller at short, and that'll end the inning. But a destructive one for the Bruins.
We came into this talking about the Bruin Bombers and Woolery and Grant, but here in Oklahoma City on Survival Sunday, Lefty Ramirez gets one up in the zone, chases it out of here, and then another solo shot by the freshman, Sofia Mojica.
Always good to get a treat after rounding the bases.
Well,
and
it's
headed
chocolate
for
covered.
home.
I mean, something.
Oh, yeah. Espresso beans.
Espresso beans, exactly.
Emma Clark, the freshman, will get things going. 8-9, and then the top for Tennessee. They scored twice in the bottom of the first. UCLA rattled right back with 2 of their own. Clark has a hit in both games thus far. First time for her at the World Series. Excuse me, first time for her at the Women's College World Series.
That's right.
She has already been to the Little League World Series. My bad.
Seeing that more and more. These young girls
Love it.
on that stage, get to this stage.
Who's she with? Oh, look at the celebrity she found playing for the Southeast a few years back.
Right, up in Alpenrose Dairy.
They made it to the finals, right?
Yeah, they sure did. They unfortunately lost, but yeah, they were balling it back then too. Maya Davis from Texas Tech has won and played in a World Series, a Little League World Series, older.
We've got it for you too. I think it starts August 3rd. We'll
Yep.
have the coverage for you. This year's Little League World Series. Full count here after the 0-2 start. Is that one back? Tennessee, one of 5 SEC schools that made their way to the Women's College World Series. 3 remain, with Texas and Oklahoma, the 2 newcomers to the league this year, after the Sooners won the regular season championship, which Karen Weekly had won the 2 previous years.
Great at bat from Emma Clark. I mean, Caitlin Terry has given her everything. 9th pitch coming. See this a lot of foul balls. Try to get to the mistake. Pitchers will make them.
That was a shot. It fired at you, Smitty.
Above them.
That'll get out of play.
Smitty didn't really make mistakes, actually.
Out to battle, right? I think the biggest pressure point here for the pitcher is that you don't want to walk them. The walk's as good as a hit. So
Yeah.
you've got to come around the zone. You got to make something look appetizing enough to swing through it.
This is also where the off speed, though, is huge. Be able to mix that in. And that's what surprises me. I think the one thing with Caitlin Terry, she throws her changeup 9% of the time, and it's a great pitch. I'm surprised it's not up there more, especially because of that curveball to these righties. So you know something's going to be coming inside to you. You're going to get that barrel going early.
Well, because she throws it for a strike 64% of the time, and a 30% swing and miss on the change.
And finally, that one's in play. Down to get it is Savvy Pola from her knees. One down. Ends the extended at-bat.
Oh, there you go. You always love that as a pitcher when you have that extended at-bat. The ball's hit hard. You've got your defense behind you. And Savvy Pola, look at the way she's going to go down to her knees. She doesn't panic. She doesn't rush the throw to first. Able to make that throw to get the out.
And that's the Mojica home run ball.
I'm her. I love that.
That's fabulous. folks celebrating the tradition here, the delivery of the home run balls at the World Series. Here's Kinsey Fiedler, the transfer from Washington, so she's familiar with the Bruins. Kinsey has now been to the World Series with 2 different programs. Brought with her a little bit of swagger, a whole lot of leadership for this Lady Vol team. And she wants to take that into the dugout when she's done playing. So if you're looking for a young up-and-coming coach, she might be somebody to give a call to.
There's the changeup. So after using a curve on the outer half to the lefty Fiedler, she's going to come back with that changeup, trying to use that effective velocity on the outer half, try to get her to swing around that, reach around that pitch.
Approaching 40 pitches now through the first couple of innings for Caitlin Terry. After Fiedler, it's the top of the lineup. Jammed her.
Terry's good at battling, just 33 walks given up on the year, and that's why we saw her able to really battle Emma Clark with that very long extended bat at full count. She's got good control of the zone, so control the ability to throw strikes or balls when you want to, but command of pitches is then the ability to make those pitches move.
That wasn't an easy battle off, too. You get the off speed off the plate. She doesn't want to leave it up to the umpire. Able to foul that one off.
Well, and that's the off-speed, Jess, that I'd love to see her throw that at about 40 feet. So hop it in, trust your catcher to be able to keep it in front, and if she swings through it, throw her out at first.
This is the 18th pitch to the first 2 batters this inning.
That was a great pitch. A little front door action, too, throwing that curveball at the front hip. Fiedler, it comes what looked like back over the plate.
10 foul balls for Clark and Fiedler. Ooh. On the front porch again with that one. One, two. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Second strikeout for KT as we send it down to Holly Rowe.
Well, you see Caitlin Terry out here throwing left-handed, but it's a bizarre story on why. When she was about 4 or 5 years old, her parents went to the Nike store, and the right-hander gloves were $60. The gloves for left-handers were $15. So her parents, more in a moment.
Base hit out to center field. Gabby Leach is aboard. Holly?
Her parents, Joe and Christy, decided to just make Caitlin Terry a left-hander because the glove was less expensive. So they took her home, turned her into a lefty. I noticed she also bats left-handed, and I just think that's such a cute story. The glove was cheaper. That's why Mom and Dad went that route. That's a great story I saw in Softball America, so good job by them.
Quite the advantage.
And she probably wanted to be more like Michelle Smith.
You know, there aren't as many lefties, right? It's even Major League Baseball.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, just ability to have that in your pen opens things up.
Olympic gold medalist, Hall of Famer, Michelle Smith. Olympic gold medalist and one of the best hitters in USA history, Jessica Mendoza.
A lot of lefty love up here.
Beth Mullins, Holly Rowe, we've watched the Olympics. It's good stuff. Coming back in 2028, and is it definitely 32 or likely 32
likely.
In Australia? Okay.
Hopefully. Yeah, Australia. That's a program that's medaled quite often.
There's Taylor Pannell. Taylor singled and scored in the first. She and Ella Dodge came in on the Laura Mueller 2-run single. All 3 of those hits in the first inning to the opposite field.
Gabby Leach did it the same to get on first base. It's definitely an approach. Tennessee's done a great job this postseason with scouting their opponents, having a great game plan, and then executing.
Coming back at us.
Against Sam Landry and even Jordy Ball last weekend, these Tennessee hitters understood the side of the plate they were searching for then. For these righties, it was inside, so they're backing off the plate, able to get barrel on the ball. Now it seems to be a lot more opposite field approach.
Had the and run going.
Yes, they did. Trying to keep the bats hot after 12 hits and 11 runs in their last game against Florida to set World Series records. Everybody got involved. So now they've already won 3 elimination games in this postseason. I think Oregon, the only one that's won more. They are 4-0 in elimination games with 3 walk-offs. They're playing later tonight against Oklahoma. Fly ball into center, and on the run is Clements to make the play. 2-2 ball game through 2. We're headed to the 3rd, which means it's party time at Westwood.